Triathlons are not about who desires to exercise the most, but instead, who exercises the most desire. This mentality has been bringing people to triathlons for the last 40 years. Triathlons are an event that have become incredibly popular in the international stage. Today, I will be explaining this to you by first explaining what a triathlon is, and then explaining some specific aspects of how it works, and then finally, why it is so popular. So first, we move to what is a triathlon. A triathlon is a multi-sport event in which you race 3 races back to back to back. And the idea is to get the lowest possible time. And the first event is the swim. The swim is almost always an open water swim in which you swim in a lake or an ocean. The next event is the bike. In the bike, you use special triathlon bikes that are a little heavier but are more aerodynamic. In addition, they have what's called aero bars, which are 2 bars that sit in front of your handlebars like this, and it makes you more aerodynamic so you can get lower to the ground, but they are legal in almost all, if not all, purely cycling races. And the last event is the run. And there really isn't much to the run besides give it all you have at the end. So now that I've explained to you what a triathlon is, now I'm going to explain some key aspects of doing a triathlon. And I'm going to start with before the race. When you first sign up for a triathlon, the first thing that the triathlon committee does is split you up into groups. The first designation is between amateur and professional. And after that, they further designate the amateurs into age groups by gender. And age groups are usually go up by 5s, except for when you're younger, and it's 15 and below, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then it starts going up by 5s, 20 to 25, 26 to 30, and so on. The next thing that they do is they mark you. I'm going to go back to my swimming one. The most obvious mark that they give you are your swim caps. Each heat in a triathlon, based on your age group, has a different colored swim cap. And that designates which heat you're in, and it's easy to tell who's who. So obviously all of these guys are in the same heat and are about the same age. The next mark that they give you are numbers on the sides or back of your arms, which you can see on these cyclists. That tells the race officials who you are, whether you're in the water, or you're biking, or you're running. And the final designation that they give you, that you can't really see, but is your age on the back of your calf. And they put the age there because under United States triathlon rules, you don't have to win overall in a triathlon in order to win technically as the event. All you have to do is win in your age group. So if you win in your age group, it counts as a win. So when you're racing, you want to watch for people that are in your age group, so you look at their lower calf and see how old they are. And the final thing that you do before a race is set up your transition area. Transition areas are incredibly important because set up right and you can move through them incredibly quickly. It's much easier to take a minute off your transition time than to take a minute off your swim time. So setting up effectively is a great idea. Plus, in addition to taking off time, if your transition area is set up incorrectly and moves into someone else's space, you can actually get time penalized from you. And it's not so big of a deal here, but when it looks like this, it's much more of a problem. So now I'm going to move into during the race. These are generally how triathlons start. There are 3 different ways they usually start. The first is the beach, when you run off of the beach into the water, which is the top one. The second one is more for professionals when you dive from a pier. And the third one is when you wade into the water and then a gun goes off and you're already in the water and then you start. Also during triathlon, now it was during triathlon. And a lot of people, it's pretty easy to understand running, biking, swimming. But one thing that people don't necessarily understand as well are transitions. And there are specific things that really help you during transitions. And these are techniques like getting on and off your bike without your shoes and having them already clipped in. So you jump on your bike without your shoes on, and then you slip them in while you're riding. And then, before you get off, you slip them off and jump off and jog right into the transition. And also, speed laces. Speed laces, you just slip them on, and then you go. And then you finish at the end. So, why triathlons are so popular? BBCSport.com has stated that triathlon is the ultimate test of stamina, strength, and skill. Obviously, triathlon is a full body sport. You use all of your muscles, which is why it's so appealing. Additionally, you can be pretty good at all of them and do much better than if you were just really good at one. Also, they've opened it up to more age groups. The sprint triathlon specifically helps people like older and a little bit bigger and also a lot younger get into things. USA Today had an article in which they talked about a youth group in Washington, D.C. And finally, inspiring stories come out of triathlons. This man has cerebral palsy and completes in triathlons all the time. His father swims with him, bikes with him, and runs with him the entire way. He's completed several Ironmans. So today I've talked to you about what a triathlon is, how it's done, and why it's so popular. And hopefully you'll be able to see why they're becoming one of the most prominent events on the international scale. And if you're thinking about doing a triathlon now, kind of want to test it out, my only advice to you is to train hard, but try harder.